name's George Ellick and I'm here with Oddschecker with Darren Gough to preview the upcoming Ashes series. And Darren, we're going to talk about your experiences out there. England's record in Australia, except for the win, is unbelievably poor. 3 winning tests out of the other 30, taking out 13-14. Why is it so tough? Have you been there? Why is it so difficult to win out there?
Well, the era I played in the 90s, obviously they were number 1 in the world. I think they won 17 in a row, didn't they? And then they lost one or drew one, then won another 17 in a row. They were unbeatable almost, and I hate to say that because they had obviously the wars. They had Mark Taylor, they had Slater, they had Shane Warne, McGrath, Gillespie, Brett Lee. It was just never ending. Whoever they left out, they brought somebody else in who were just as good. But it all starts the moment you get off the plane in Australia. I was a young kid really. I was wet behind the ears, and I went out of the airport, and all of a sudden in England you'll get the odd person follow you around, TV crew, but you get off the aeroplane, you walk through customs, and then it's there. Oh my word, it's just a sea of cameras and photographers, and from the moment you land it's cricket, cricket, cricket. Like in this country it's football, 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 yeah, with rugby and cricket thrown in. Over there it's cricket non-stop, every single day, creating headlines. So they're looking for stories every single day. So the pressure starts to build from the moment you walk through customs.
Obviously each arena in Australia proposes different problems for England cricket. Perth, England have a horrible record there. Some people say it's already 1-0 to Australia before you get there. I mean, how do they differ? Is it pretty intimidating going to all the stadiums, or do some of them have different challenges?
Well, back in the day it used to be quite funny what they used to do. So we used to arrive in Perth, obviously, play a warm-up game in Perth. Then we go right up to Cairns, send us to Cairns for a week where it's boiling hot and then nobody could hardly breathe. Then guess what they'd do? Then they'd send us to Tasmania where there's snow on the mountains and it's freezing and it's a long sleeve jumper, and nobody takes a long sleeve jumper to Australia, but you do need it in Tasmania. And then guess what? They send us back to Brisbane where we're gasping for air again to play a test match. They're very clever, but England have kind of caught on to that now, haven't they? They're up in Townville now before the Brisbane test next week, getting used to the conditions. You turn up in Brisbane, that first morning's vital. There's a little bit in the pitch, it normally carries, but you need early wickets. If you don't get early wickets, it can be a long drag. It's hard for the bowler. And when the Aussies get in, this is one thing they're good at, and one thing we're still got to get over that. We've got Cook and Root. When they get in, they tend to get big scores, but everybody else gets 50s, 40s, 60s. And when the Aussies get in, your Warners and your Smiths, they get big ones. I mean doubles and triples. That's what they want to do, and so we come at Brisbane, we've got to be straight on the ball early doors. If there's something in the wicket, we have got the perfect 3 bowlers for that, by the way. Let me just tell you, Brisbane would suit our bowlers. We have got Woakes, Anderson and Broad. In those conditions, I think they're as good a bowlers as you'd want to have. I really do. So I think Brisbane's a massive test, and if we get out of that with a draw or a win, I think we're going forward, we've got to be happy with that. And then after Brisbane, the English army will invade Australia. You know what I mean? It is awesome. The crowds come into Adelaide, they come into Melbourne, they come into Sydney and Perth. It is fantastic, it really is. The following we get as a cricket team when we go to Australia is magnificent. And they make a difference. Adelaide, I think that's going to be one of the places our bowlers might struggle. Saying that, it's a day-nighter, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the pink ball, yet again, under the right conditions, we win the toss and we bowl in at the right times, it might just suit Woakes and Anderson. We've just seen Woakes, haven't we, get 6
yeah.
He's in good form. Anderson with a swinging ball is as dangerous as anyone in the world. He's in fact the best with a swinging ball in the world.
Obviously, all the talk before the series was dominated by off-the-field problems with Ben Stokes. We don't know if he's going to be there or not.
We still don't know. Let's just take it he's not going to be there.
Assume he's not, but did that surprise you? Did you think that maybe since your day the kind of professionalism, not saying you weren't professional, but it had moved on from that culture? Or do you think there's always going to be that concern?
No, I think, listen, professional sport is very professional. The cricket guys now look like athletes. You know what I mean? They were like the Teletubbies at times in the 90s and the 80s. But from early 90s, I reckon about 93, 94, the whole mentality of training in cricket changed. The guys got fitter, stronger, he worked hard. But there will always be that culture. Even in football now, you don't read about it as much because they kind of do it behind closed doors. But in cricket, we always believe you lose together, you win together. So sometimes the best time to get together is after you've lost a game, is to go into the bar and talk, because you have different personalities within a dressing room, right? And in that personalities, you'll have some who sit there who have got so much to offer and they don't say anything.
Yeah.
Now you put a glass of wine down the neck, red or white, doesn't matter, anyone you like, they start to talk. And sometimes you get to know each other so much better in them circumstances. Now I'm not saying England did right going out till 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning. That was wrong. That went OTT. They took advantage of the situation. And they're going to pay for that now. England are paying for it, Ben Stokes is paying for it, and Alex Hales is paying for it. And I wish them the best because they're two good cricketers. Ben Stokes is obviously, without him in the side, we end up with a situation where we have to play an extra batsman in there to cover for Ben Stokes, and end up obviously with another fourth seamer, because he does two jobs, and he's great with his hands as well. So it's a massive loss to him.
You look at this Australia team. You played against that Australia team you played against is arguably one of the best ever. Yeah. How does this compare?
Don't rub it in.
It's a good thing, surely. I mean,
it is. But obviously, one thing that bugs me throughout my whole career, same as Alex Stewart. You speak to Alec, who plays here at the Oval, and I've chatted to him a few times about this. We played our own career, and we had good careers, and so many of them, Mike Atherton, Graham Hick, and all these guys, Graham Thorpe, and none of us won an Ashes series. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it does, out of all the series you play in, and I played 17 Test matches against Australia. I won 3 of them, but we won 3 of them. And so that's not a great record. But against everyone else, we just could not beat that Australian side. They were unbelievable, from Gilchrist to Healy to Vaughan to McGrath. But when you look at this current side and you look through it, and you can pick lots of holes in there. They're experienced. They've got Mitchell Starc, who's been great, but remember he's had a big injury. Yeah. The workload he's going to have in this series, let's think about it. It could be 20 overs an innings. Is he going to last 5 tests? Yeah, is he going to last 5 tests?
And they don't go deep with the seamers either. So.
You've got Jackson Bird played 8 tests. You've got Cummins, who's played 5 tests. You've got Stark and Hazelwood, who have both played 30 odd tests. Not much experience. Let's compare that to Broad and Anderson. Yeah. Over 100 tests. They've got 900 wickets between them or something. Might be more, 1,000 wickets between them in tests.
Do you think anyone of this kind of Aussie team would get into that kind of 99 to 2014?
I think Mitchell Starc is obviously a massive one. Warner's debatable, because you've got to compare him to Langer and Hayden and Mark Taylor. They all average 15 Test cricket. You know what I mean? So I think it'd be a push for him. Smith, you're going to compare him to Steve Waugh, to Mark Waugh, to Ponting. Yeah. You know, there's so many good players. David Boone. Very, very difficult. If they get it right, Australia, I would still have them as slight favourites for this series, purely because of home conditions, and I've just talked about that, the way they were bowled. They've got more pace than us. Now, if I was the curator of the pitches, I'd be saying, right, we need the fastest pitches we can produce, but flat. Yeah. We don't want any movement off the pitch, because Anderson is the best in the business, movement off the pitch, broad, seam movement, Woakes. You've seen in a pitch that does a little bit, he'll take wickets. Now, on the spin front, Moeen Ali's improving every year, but let's be honest, he's a batsman. Yeah. He's getting to that stage now where he's getting better and better, but on flat pitches, is he going to have the same effect as Nathan Lyon? Going to be very difficult. So, Australia, flat pitches with pace, I think that's where we'd struggle.
Got it there from Darren Gough, a man who knows all about playing cricket in Australia. We'll be back soon to talk about what we expect to happen in this upcoming series in more detail.